If you're running outdoor PT sessions, avoid these mistakes like the plague because they're going to kill your outdoor business. Welcome back to the Storm Fitness Academy podcast. And yes, I am outside again. So this is the third episode now in the three-part series, The Outdoor PT Playbook. And here I am, beautiful sunshine. Love the outdoors. Now, watch carefully because the last time I was in this exact location, just behind me were a couple of deer. So hopefully you might be lucky to see some deer if you're watching this. If you're listening, then you're just going to have to listen out for them. Anyway, let's begin. This isn't a nature lesson, people. This is about how to optimize outdoor PT. If you're thinking about taking your clients outdoors, you're thinking about changing your whole PT business around being an outdoor specialist, then these episodes are for you. The last two and today's episode are going to be great for you. And this is episode 3 of the series, and today is all about client killing mistakes. Now, I don't mean actually killing your clients, but I mean killing their retention. Clients that will not come back because they're not getting the results they want because you're not using some sensible principles whilst taking them outdoors. Okay, let's get into the first question. What are the biggest coaching mistakes that PTs make outdoors? Now, I did touch on this in the previous 2 episodes, but I want to touch on it again because it's a big one. It's not having a program. It's getting outdoors and thinking, look, we're outdoors. It's a lovely day. Who needs a program? Let's just go freestyle. You can do that once in a while and it's fine. It's adequate. I'm sure you'll entertain the client. They'll get a nice little endorphin buzz. But is it optimal to get the results that they're paying for? No, of course it's not. You need structure. You need a periodized program that is tailored to their needs, their goals, their preferences, and it's got progressive overload in it. So follow a program. Just because you're outdoors doesn't mean you can just make stuff up. How do I avoid under-delivering when kit or weather is limited? As an experienced PT, you get very good at just adapting to the situation. Now, obviously, if it's been heavy rainfall, you're going to have more slips and trips. So this is not the session to be testing your agility work. Now, if your client's got running shoes that have got really good traction on them, trail running shoes, then that's going to help. But if it's very slippery, you're going to avoid rapid change of direction. Now, really wet days, and if it's raining whilst you're actually doing it, you're probably going to avoid any kind of gripping. So where you're holding a kettlebell and there's a risk of it flying out your hand, you're probably not going to do that exercise. So things like swings and snatches and kettlebell cleans. Overhead pressing is going to be all right. Goblet squats are going to be fine. Now, you're also going to look at doing things probably more bilaterally. So what I mean by that is where you've got 2 feet planted firmly on the ground at one time. So if you're doing things 1 foot at a time unilaterally, then because of the slip hazard, it's likely that you're going to lose balance, you're going to fall over. It's a little bit riskier. So just go with your bilateral, both feet planted firmly, 2-footed squats, all that type of thing. How do I handle clients who are uncomfortable training in public? You're going to have to do a bit of a recce and find out where's an area that you can train clients where they're not on display too much. Going into a slightly secluded area of the park, there's a bit of tree cover, just a bit distanced away from like the play park or the cafe where they're very populated areas. So you've got to be a bit sensible with things. I'm a confident person. I'm quite happy to train in public, but I don't want to be right by the play park where all the kids are and the mums are, and I want to be somewhere fairly secluded. I think just sniff out those sensible areas, and also just remind clients that people don't care about what you're doing. They're only interested in themselves, really. So just managing that expectation and making them feel comfortable, and don't make them do something that makes them feel silly. So go with exercise that are within their capabilities and just raise the bar gradually. Don't get them doing anything crazy, anything silly. If someone's very overweight, if you've got an obese client, you don't need to be getting them doing burpees. You don't need to be getting them crawling around on the floor doing bear crawls and alligator walks and all that animal flow type stuff. It's not necessary for them. And if it's massively out their comfort zone, it's going to be enough to scare them off. You want to make sure that everything's achievable, everything's realistic, and it's just enough challenge that they get results. What's the risk of not planning for progression outdoors? So with that question, the way I read that is making sure that every exercise you give somebody and every session, there is a way it can be progressed. So if a client is finding something too easy, too comfortable, how do you make it harder? Now, it's not always the case you're just going to do more reps or more time, because if they've purchased an hour training with you, or they only want to train for an hour, or it's 45 minutes, half an hour, whatever, you don't want to just keep adding on more and more time. So you need to look for a more challenging version of the exercise. Now with kettlebells, if they're using your heaviest kettlebell and you can't go any heavier, then you might look at doing things like slowing the tempo down. So when you slow the eccentric part of the movement down, that's going to make it harder. You can also just move to tougher variations of exercises. With push-ups, there are harder and harder versions of push-ups that you can do all the time. If weather isn't an issue, it's a lovely summer's day, if you're going from doing things that are bilateral, so two-footed like I mentioned earlier, you can go to unilateral, one-footed. If you've got a bench nearby, elevate that foot. Bulgarian split squats are going to be harder than normal squats. If you've got a suspension trainer that you can wrap over a branch of a tree, they can hold onto the suspension trainer and do reverse lunges, but elevating that back foot. So always think about ways that you can make the exercise more challenging if the client is finding it too easy. Progressions are essential. How do I keep sessions professional and not just outdoor workouts? It's having an objective, it's having a program, it's having a training log, logging data all the time. So you've got to be able to show your clients any time that they have made progress. So if they've been coming to you for a few sessions, you should be able to just get out your laptop or get out your iPad, get the app open on your phone, or get out your clipboard and show them this is what you're doing when you started, this is what you're doing now. This is what you were feeling when you were started. This is what you're feeling now. Show them their progressions. Otherwise, you're just babysitting them for a workout. It's got to be, fun. Keep it fun, but your personality does that. Chuck in some fun little finishes at the end of the sessions. But the main has got to be moving them closer towards an objective, towards their goal. What are the branding or marketing mistakes that outdoor PTs make? An easy mistake I think people make, or an easy investment that you can make, is to actually get yourself a banner or a sign, something that clearly has your brand on it. So when I used to train clients outdoors back in the Storm outdoor fitness days, we had a big flag and it had Storm Outdoor Fitness down the side of it. So from quite a distance, you could see quite clearly, oh, look, it's Storm Outdoor Fitness training somebody. So very recognisable and also helpful. If I ever move for whatever reason, if my clients come to meet me, I can just say, oh, I've moved to a slightly different area of the park, look out for the flag. £100, great advertising. So definitely recommend you get one of those. But with outdoor PT, this is where like some of you guys that have jumped on the online PT thing, which don't blame you at all, crack on. Wonderful way to scale your business. But if you do want to do this old school face-to-face live training in parks, then actually just becoming a little bit of a local celebrity, getting out and about, going to events, going to fairs and trade shows, getting to know people, giving a good impression of yourself, handing out your business cards, handing out little cards for free sessions to your classes. That face-to-face networking beats social media all day long. If you're running a local PT business, I would argue, do you even need social media? Now, someone's listening to that who's a social media expert going, what's he telling them that for? That's ridiculous. But trust me, I know you would be able to build a local fitness business with no social media at all. What systems do successful outdoor PTs have in place? You need some sort of customer journey. So if somebody's going onto your website, they want to have a good indication of who you are, who you help, what you're about. So that doesn't change whether you're a gym-based PT or an outdoor PT. Your website needs to resonate with your target audience, so it's got pictures and videos and testimonies. So like our outdoor fitness website, as you can imagine, had lots of pictures of people training outdoors with smiley faces, looking happy. And all the language is very outdoorsy. So think about that. Now, when they land on your website, you want to make sure that it's really clear where to go next. So we used to have a download your free bootcamp voucher, and it would just send you a instant email with a little voucher that says bring that to the class. Now, there's a chance that person might download that voucher and never turn up. So what I would then do is get on the phone to them, welcome them, say thanks for downloading your voucher. I'm John Bond, really looking forward to meeting you at the class. When would you like to come to your first free class? And actually book it in a bit formally with them. It's quite nice bit of nurturing of the customer. Then they would come along, I'd greet them there, I'd introduce them to the rest of the group. Everybody there would be very friendly, very welcoming. I'd make a beeline for them during the session to make sure that they're happy and they're getting lots of support on that first session. And then at the end, I would keep them behind and have a little chat with them about how it went, tell them a bit more about what we're about, and then give them some information on how to join. And I'd also tell them that I was also a PT, so if they wanted to really personalise their training and take things to the next level, then, take advantage of some PT sessions as well. So you want to have a journey. Think about from the moment they land on your website, how are they going to find out about it in the first place? When they then get pointed to your website, what's the website going to say and do? Make sure that it does drive them to take some sort of action. Just keep improving that journey so that it converts more relevant clients into paying customers. Okay, here we go. Last question. Do you recommend becoming an outdoor PT? If you hate the outdoors, then no. Then I don't think you should do it. I think you should find a nice little venue, a nice, warm, air-conditioned studio, PT, gym, whatever, and do it there. But if you love the outdoors and you would like to have more of that in your life, then it's a great way to inject that into your day-to-day lifestyle because it becomes your job. It's what you're about. And then you start to become a bit of authority, not just in outdoor fitness, but just the outdoors, understanding a bit more about nature and the wildlife and appropriate footwear and clothing. And like I said, the memories I have back in the day of Storm Outdoor Fitness, and if anyone's listening to this that was a member of Storm Outdoor Fitness, don't get too excited when I say this, but I do often think about relaunching the business because I miss it. It was wonderful. I remember we had a great barbecue down on Shore and Beach once. There was so many people turned up to that. The atmosphere was fantastic. It was a beautiful summer's evening. And then once we packed up and put all our stuff in the boots of our cars, we then ventured into town. We used to have socials all the time. We used to enter races together. So we did things like the Brighton 10K, Brighton Half Marathon, Brighton Marathon. We would do a lot of the outdoor obstacle courses. So the Warrior Run, we entered a team that a couple of times. Off the cuff sessions, I'd send an alert out to everyone saying, this Sunday, if anyone fancies it, off the cuff sprint session down at Buckingham Park. And we would do some sprint training. And I'd always get people turn up. Yeah, really fond memories. It's almost making me a bit sad thinking about it, actually. But at the moment, I'm loving working with my graduates, my students and my graduates. Got any questions? Ping them in the comments. Be more than happy to answer those. If you're watching this on YouTube and you haven't subscribed yet, do please subscribe. You'll get an alert every week when the new episode lands. You can also subscribe via our website, so you'll get an email alert from us. Enjoy the rest of your day. It's not a bad job, is it? Can't complain.